Hello everyone! Welcome once again to Brandeo Collection. Today we're going to take a look at some new autographed pieces we've added to the collection from our time at the Chiller Theater Convention. So stick around here and we'll take a look at them after the jump. Alright, so jumping right into things, we did recently go to the April 2022 Chiller Theater Expo. Now, Chiller Theater is a show that I personally have been going to since 2005, so it's been a long time. I've been going there ever since I was a teenager, and it's one of my favorite shows to go to. It is a wide variety of pop culture people that show up at these different Chiller Theater Expos. It skews more towards properties from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and sometimes you skew a little bit more recent than that, but it focuses on movies and TV shows from those specific kind of time periods. So this was our first time going back to Chiller since COVID. Of course, in 2020, they didn't have any shows, and their first show back was this past October of 2021, and this one being April of 22 was the first time that we've returned back to the event since they started things up again. Now, if you are brand new to our channel, and if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell notification to be notified when we post new videos. We're always posting things just like this, going over new hauls that we got of autographs, comic books, 1/6 scale figures, and much more. So what we're going to do next is we're going to jump over and take a look at a couple of the different pieces that we picked up at the Chiller Theater Expo. At the Chiller Theater Expo this year, in April of 2022, we got a few different pieces. Nothing too crazy. We didn't get a lot of things, but we did spend a few hours there on the Saturday of the event and picked up a couple things. So just to start off, the first item that we got here is actually an actor who, he's done signings before in the past, but this was actually his first ever convention in the United States doing a signing. So I knew I needed to go and meet him because he is part of one of my favorite films from my childhood, a movie that both me and my brother watched on repeat all the time, and that is Tim Blaney, who played Johnny Five in the Short Circuit movies. Specifically Short Circuit 2, which is the photo that I got signed here, and that movie I used to watch all the time. It used to be on TV all the time when I was growing up, and every single time it was on, we would sit down and watch it. So I needed to. I needed to get a piece signed by Johnny Five himself. This actor is also the voice of Frank the Pug from the Men in Black movies, so you may know him actually from that more than even the Short Circuit films, but had to meet him. He was a very nice man, and it was funny, I told him the story about me and my brother watching Short Circuit 2 a lot, and he looked at me and said, well, you probably know the lines better than I do. So it was great meeting him. He was very nice, and this was a great person to meet. Now, other than that, another piece of my childhood, which is pretty much everybody that I got that weekend were important parts of my childhood. The next person I got is actually a Star Wars person, and this is part of my ongoing series of getting these Star Wars 50th, or I should say Lucasfilm 50th anniversary comic book covers signed. Now, there's these covers that Marvel is releasing, and they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, and it has different covers showing different famous characters throughout the history of Star Wars. So I'm right now going through the process of getting each of those individual covers signed. We did get some of them signed back at Fan Expo Philadelphia. We actually have a video that I will link here and in the description below showing those pieces we got done at that show. And the piece we got done at this show was from Daniel Logan, who plays young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. And he was also used kind of on his face, I should say, in the flashbacks in the Book of Boba Fett, and he also voiced Boba Fett in the Clone Wars animated series as well. So once again, very nice guy to meet, and it's very funny is that I even had a conversation with him that the last time I met him in person was at Chiller Theater back in 2006. So that was the last time I met him. That was the first time I got his autograph, all the way back when I was 15 years old. So it's funny. We had a little bit of a laugh about that, had a conversation. He even said this was his first time back at this show since 2006. So it was kind of funny that those were the two times that I met him in my life and got different signed pieces. So I'm very happy to add another one to this collection. This piece will actually eventually get signed by Tamora Morrison, who plays Jango Fett, who also plays Boba Fett, of course, older Boba Fett. And then it will be called Completed once Tamora Morrison is on this comic book as well. So we have Tim Blaney, who plays Johnny Five. We have Daniel Logan, who plays young Boba Fett. And now we're down to the last two pieces that we got at the convention, I should say. And the last two pieces are actually signed by the same person, and that person is Peter Weller. And you may know him from various different types of projects. You may know him from Buckaroo Banzai. You may know him as the voice of old Batman in the Dark Knight Returns animated movies that came out a few years ago. He was in Star Trek Into Darkness, and of course his most famous role, which is the one that I got signed, which was the original 1987 Robocop. Now, Robocop was the first R-rated movie that both myself and my brother watched back when we were extremely way too young to watch that film. I still have it ingrained in my brain, even though I've watched the movie hundreds of times since I was a child, but I still have it ingrained in my brain the first time I watched that Ed 209 boardroom scene when the guy gets blown away into pieces. That as a little person, as a little child, seeing that for the first time kind of blew my mind, and I wanted to see more, which really pushed both myself and my brother's love for all things movies and film, is really that experience of that being our first R-rated film. So we have a soft spot for this movie, for the original Robocop, and I had some signed pieces from him already, but I had to go meet him, and I first got this shot, which is the classic Robocop poster of him coming out of his car. Just simple. He put there his character name, he put Robo, which he signs most of the time now when it comes to his signings, either in person or his private signings. And then the piece that I actually brought with me for him to get signed is actually something a little bit different. I actually didn't see any photos like this on his table. I didn't, at least in the people around me, didn't see anybody getting something similar signed there at the show. And that is going to be this piece right here that was already signed by Nancy Allen, who plays Lewis in the original Robocop films. I had her sign this at Chiller Theater back in 2019. And I've been holding on to it, waiting for a Peter Weller signing, and now I have both of them on this shot of both Lewis and Murphy. Now, of course, like I said, most of the time when people are getting Robocop pieces signed, they are getting him in the Robocop suit, him as Robocop. Not a lot of people get shots signed of him as Alex Murphy before he gets killed and turned into Robocop. So I thought this was a great shot to get signed, and now I have both of them on there. So those are all the pieces that we got at the Chiller Theater Expo this year. It was a great show. I'm looking forward to possibly going to the October show they have for Halloween every year and see which guests they bring. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell notification to be notified when we post new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on collecting.